So one Buddha has the ability, power, skills to reach all sentient beings.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we need more than one Buddha?
So why do we need to become Buddhas?
More than one Buddha.
Because as sentient beings, different the mind streams of particular Buddhas, when those Buddhas were sentient beings, over the course of beginningless lifetimes, developed different karmic relationships with the mind streams of other sentient beings. And so, because sometimes there exists a karmic relationship in a certain situation, um, that makes it so that we're more open and receptive to the teachings or the influence of a particular Buddha. Okay, so there need to be many, many Buddhas. It's kind of like when you have a child, yeah? When your child is little, they listen to the parents. As soon as they hit teenage years, anything the parent says is wrong, but anything another adult says, they can hear. Yeah, because of the difference in the relationship in that particular life. So it's good for parents to make sure that their kids have other adults who they can talk to when they hit teenage years. So they aren't just listening to their friends' advice, but to an adult advice, okay? So in kind of, this is not an exact analogy, but in a similar way, sentient beings may have more of a karmic affiliation with one Buddha or another, and so that makes it easier for that Buddha to help that sentient being. And those karmic affiliations were developed when that Buddha in a prior life was a sentient being, or even when they were a bodhisattva. Okay, so it's not that Buddhas are discriminative. It's not like that. They hold all beings in compassion, with their compassion. It's just from our side, who are we most receptive to listening to? Okay. So we're kind of like teenagers, sometimes. Yeah.
The idea that the Buddhas are always trying to help us and that it's our receptivity. I think about how we think of the sun as shining in the daytime and not at night, but the sun shines all the time. We're just on this globe and we're pointed away from it.
Yeah.
And then if you think of Shakyamuni Buddha, or whatever Buddha you relate to the most, is like the sun. And the ones that we don't have such connections with are like the other stars.
Yeah.
Though not a great analogy, but somewhat.
Something like that. Yeah.
So the Buddha has no obscurations because his consciousnesses are not dependent on physical faculties. Is that part of?
No.
I mean, is that why he could see through a wall?
Because the nature of the mind is to reflect and know objects. And it's only because of obscurations that we can't. When we remove the obscurations, the mind can see. So His Holiness was giving some examples, the wall or the defective sense faculty, just so that we get some idea of what he means by obscurations. But from the side of a Buddha, it's, it doesn't depend on having that your eye sense faculty works perfect in order to see things, because a Buddha can know everything through the mental consciousness.
And so the Buddha, a wall is not what I was getting at is a wall or a physical object is not an
No, it's not a problem for
because it's just a mental consciousness, and
because
one side of the wall is no different than the other.
Yeah, because when the mental consciousness is purified of all obscurations, or even the visual consciousness, because its nature is to know, then it will know. Yeah, it doesn't matter which side of the wall that you're on.